The Vanishing Letter. Detective Alex Carter walks into the dimly lit office of Mrs. Eleanor Whitman. She sits behind an enormous oak desk, her fingers tapping impatiently on the polished surface. The room smells of aged books and faint cigar smoke, a reminder of a bygone era. "I assume you know why you are here, Detective," Mrs. Whitman says, her sharp eyes peering at him over gold-rimmed spectacles. Alex nods. The missing letter. Mrs. Whitman presses her lips together. "Precisely. My late husband's letter vanishes from the safe in the study. That letter contains crucial information about our estate. If it falls into the wrong hands, it spells disaster. On Harold, and my husband's lawyer, Mr. Jennings. I keep it locked away at all times." Alex leans forward. "When do you last see it?" "Last night. Before bed, I check the safe, as I always do. This morning, it is gone." Alex moves to the safe. The lock shows no sign of forced entry. He kneels, inspects the carpet. A small footprint, too small to belong to Mrs. Whitman, catches his attention. "Your son, Harold. Where is he now?" Mrs. Whitman's expression tightens. "Out. He leaves early this morning, saying he has business to attend to." Alex makes a mental note. "And Mr. Jennings? He is in his office, I presume." Alex decides to visit Jennings first. The lawyer's office sits on the main street, nestled between a tailor's shop and a bookstore. Inside, the air is thick with the scent of old parchment. Jennings, a wiry man with silver hair, looks up as Alex enters. "Detective Carter. What brings you here?" "The Whitman letter. It's missing." Jennings adjusts his glasses. "That is troubling indeed. Mrs. Whitman says only 3 people know of it, herself, Harold, and you." Jennings sighs. "That is correct. But I assure you, I do not take it." "Where are you last night?" "At home, reviewing some documents." Alex watches him closely. "Anyone to confirm that?" "My assistant, Claire. She stays late to type up paperwork." Alex makes a note and leaves. His next stop, Harold Whitman's residence. Harold's house is a grand estate on the outskirts of town. Alex knocks, and a maid answers. "Mr. Whitman is not in," she says. "Do you know where he goes?" She hesitates. "He leaves early, but he does not say where." Alex scans the entryway. A faint trail of mud leads from the door. He follows it to the side of the house, where he finds a pair of boots, the soles matching the print in Mrs. Whitman's study. He waits. Hours later, Harold arrives, surprised to see Alex. "Detective? What are you doing here? Where have you been?" Harold smooths his coat. "Out on business." "Mind if I take a look inside?" Harold hesitates, then steps aside. The interior is lavish, paintings on the walls, a grand piano in the corner. Alex notices a small stack of papers on the desk. On top, an envelope bearing the Whitman crest. Alex lifts it. The missing letter. Harold stiffens. I can explain." Alex folds his arms. "Please do." Harold exhales. "It's simple. My father wishes to change his will before his passing. He wants me to inherit more than my mother. The letter details this. If my mother sees it, she fights it in court." Alex nods. "So you steal it before she does?" Harold looks away. "I plan to return it. I just need time." Alex studies him. "The law does not work that way." Harold sighs. "I suppose not." Alex takes the letter. "Come with me." Back at the Whitman estate, Mrs. Whitman receives the letter with trembling hands. "I knew Harold is up to something," she whispers. Harold shifts uncomfortably. "Mother, I only do what I think is fair." Mrs. Whitman shakes her head. "Fairness is not decided by theft." Alex turns to Harold. "You are lucky your mother does not press charges. But consider this a warning." Harold nods, shame flickering in his eyes. Alex leaves the estate, another case closed. The mystery of the vanishing letter ends, but the Whitman family drama continues.